Welcome back to Mornings. Now, we have got a little special treat here for Sonia for, well, just for no reason. For breakfast, because I heard this over the weekend, and this blew me away. And, you know, when you hear things that are kind of exciting because they might be true, and the thing is, dessert for breakfast may be good for you. Not necessarily that rock-hard donut, but dessert in general.
Actually.
Now, Amelia Burton is with us. Amelia, welcome back.
Thank you.
True or false? Just tell me.
Do you know there is an element of truth to this, and I can't beve I am saying this.
Oh, I'll have another bite then.
Okay, but it is based on actual research, and just work with me here because a recent study that's come out of the Tel Aviv University has found that having dessert for breakfast on this particular study showed some really interesting results. What they did was they took 144 clinically obese people, they split them into two groups, both of them followed a calorie-controlled diet for 16 weeks, 1,400 calories for women, 1,600 calories for men, and the only difference was one of the groups, factored into those calories, got to have some dessert with their breakfast. So it could have been a little cookie or a bit of a donut or a bit of cake, something like that. Now, the results were really, really interesting. So the first 16 weeks of the diet, everyone, both groups, lost the same amount of weight, which was about 15 kilos over the 16 weeks, which is pretty good. But what happened was the following 16 weeks after the diet had finished and they went off the diet, they tracked the two groups. And what they found was that the group that didn't have the dessert for breakfast actually put most of the weight back on. They put about 10 kilos back on. But the group that did have the dessert continued to lose another 7 kilos.
Can I throw out there a reason, a layman's reason why that might be?
Please do.
Is it just because they had become accustomed to it? Their body had, like, if they'd been eating dessert for all 16 weeks, that they'd become immune?
Immune to the weight gain?
Yes.
Not quite. That's a very interesting approach.
I'm not a nutritionist or a professor.
I love your theory there. Basically, the theory that I tell you what it probably comes down to, that was a good try though, is the fact that when you deprive yourself of something, you go on a diet. Normally it means that at the end of that diet you just throw in the towel and you go back to eating the way you used to. But with something like this, you're getting your treat as well. And that's what they found, is that having a little bit of a treat every day, particularly when it's factored into your calories, is really, really important because it means that it's sustainable. You know, it's something you can continue doing.
But you shouldn't just have cake for breakfast.
No, very good point, Sonia.
Balance it up with something else?
I am
Scoop
not,
of cream
no, I'm not advocating just having cake or anything like that for breakfast. What you want to make sure is you want to have a low GI, high protein breakfast. So for example, and look, I would never have a donut like this. We're talking about 150 calories. So I'd be talking about having like a little, a little bit of chocolate or...
How many calories would be in that?
That would be about 350 calories, which is a main meal for a woman. So probably, like less than maybe a third of that you would have.
A little bit of chocolate or something, particularly I'd notice if you're hungover, it can be a really good thing in the morning, a little bit of chocolate, because it's sugar hit and
a little bit
gets you back.
A little bit of fat. So the main thing is to factor it into your daily calories. You're not having it on top of what you'd normally have as well.
And having it in the morning, and can I just say that this, to me, it's like the planets have aligned. And someone has finally come up with exactly the right type of diet. It's best to do this in the morning, obviously, because you're more likely to burn it off.
Yeah, that's right. Your metabolism is absolutely firing in the morning. And there's an old saying that you should eat breakfast like a king, lunch like a prince, and dinner like a pauper. And that's because the idea is that you have this big breakfast when your metabolism's fired, when your brain is demanding carbohydrates for thinking. As the day goes on, your hormones start to slow you down. So the worst thing you can do is have dessert at night time, throw in some alcohol in the mix, and you're a complete goner.
Yeah. It's not encouraging, is it, sometimes? Now, what about John Travolta? He's revealed that he lost 11 kilograms because he didn't deprive himself of his favourite foods. Have a listen.
Never diet. I just don't believe in it. I think deprivation of the body just doesn't work. That's when you get yo-yo stuff going on. So I did it real slow, and it's harder because you have to kind of watch it happen slowly, but you start to feel better, like inch by inch.
Okay, what do we think of the Travolta method?
Well, look, I have to agree with John, and this was his first interview back since the massage incident, so he didn't mention that at all, but certainly I would agree with him in this situation, in that diets don't work. We know that diets don't work. You need to do something in moderation, you need to do something that's sustainable, and I always have the saying, what you resist persists. In other words, if I said to you both, that's it, no more chocolate ever again, what you resist, it starts to persist. So don't deprive the body.
Don't fight it.
Yeah, I have a little bit of, you know, a little sweet treat every day. It doesn't have to be a donut. It can be something like some stewed fruit and yogurt or something like that.
Dark chocolate.
Yeah, a little bit of dark chocolate dipped in chamomile tea, whatever you want. So don't diet, just slow and steady.
Just off topic briefly,
Yes.
what was the massage incident?
Has it been cold in Siberia, Ben?
Really?
Don't you remember?
don't know about that.
I've heard about it. What happened?
Yeah, well, basically...
Or should we be careful about
I think
legal
we should
problems?
probably be careful about
Our
it.
lawyers
Can I
are
just
just
say that on John Travolta losing that weight, men, I think, are better dieters. Speaking of going off topic, but they are. They seem to be able to resist the temptation. Like, Ben hasn't snatched this donut
Because I've eaten the cookie from Cookie Monster already this morning.
There is actually some science. And there is some science behind that, and men's ability to not tie emotion in with food. And that's probably a whole other segment conversation.
Because we express our emotions in other ways.
Oh, really? How's that, Ben?
Just man talks and things like that with other men about what's on our mind.
We should do that next time. How to diet like a man.
There you go.
There you go.
There we go. All right,
Come up with
thank you
ideas.
for that.
Thank you so much. Good on you. Coming up.